friends, I'm Jocelyn Peters. I'm the maker and designer behind Mountain Song Designs, and welcome. Today I'm going to share with you some of my top designs for December, and I'm going to share some things that I have on the needles. Then I'm going to head into the vault and share some of my past knits and a resource that I love. And I'm going to end it with a book review, very quick book review of something I just read. I finished a book, and you may have already finished this book too. So let's get started. I don't know about you all, but in December, my knits tend to fall into one of three categories. Either I'm knitting gifts really fast for everybody I can possibly knit for, or I'm knitting holiday themed knits, or I'm trying to finish up all of the whips from the past year that I want to have off the needles before I start a fresh brand new year. So these designs of mine, Mountain Song designs that I'm going to share with you, are designs from this past year that I think are really wonderful to fit into any of those three categories. So first of all is the Falliday Cowl. It is my most recent pattern. Now this is the Halloween version. It's very spooky. I love these colors. This is the Season of the Witch by Potions and Pearls, Luna. It takes a sock set. So I've got my witch's brooms, but I also have my Christmas trees, and I'm knitting this now. So this is one of my holiday knits that I love to have this time of year. Look at it's a Christmas tree. See? And this is eggnog, which of course you can get eggnog right now. And this is in Gnome Acres. This was stash yarn. I've had this for many years and I'm working on it. I only have a couple more inches left and then I'll be done with this and it'll be ready for Christmas. So this is one that I'll be knitting and finishing up pretty soon so that I can wear it for the rest of the month. So that's the Falliday Cowl. Next is my Fairlea Hat. Now all of these are available on Etsy at MTN Song Designs or on Ravelry. I'm Jocelyn Peters. You may find me as Mountain Song Designs there. Fairlea Hat. I love this. This is my go-to gift hat. When I'm knitting for somebody, it's a pretty basic hat, but I've written it for two sizes of yarn, two weights. So we have the worsted weight, we have the fingering weight, and it is sized to fit newborn all the way through the largest adult size head. So it's going to fit anybody. You just got to get the right range, and it's so stretchy that it's going to fit everybody. And look at this, the decreases. Oh, I just think those decreases are so pretty. You don't even notice that they're there. And of course, I have a little knit palm. So if you feel like knitting a palm to go with it, you can. And if you feel like leaving it off, that's fine too. So that's the Fairlea Hat, fit for the whole family and fit for your stash. There's that. And I also want to share the Bagel Man Market Bag. If you're knitting for somebody, this is a great gift knit. If you want to knit for somebody, or maybe for you, like maybe you are going to be going to a Christmas party and you need something to put all of those gifts in, or you are knitting for someone and you don't know what size to get. This is perfect. It's made out of worsted cotton yarn. And y'all, this is seamless. There's a tiny bit of Kitchener. The rest of it is seamless. And it's structured, so it's going to hold its shape. There's a bit of lace. There are opportunities to play with color, to use up stash. If you look on Ravelry, one of my friends who helped test knit this, she knit one in rainbow colors. And it's gorgeous. She knit it for her kid and it's so beautiful. So it's a nice, fairly quick knit. It's not crazy quick, but it's quick enough that you can knit it this time of year as a gift. And know that it's something that could be used, and you don't have to worry about the fit. It's going to fit. So there's the Bagel Man Market Bag. Okay. Now these are designs, but these are tied into Christmas for me this year. So first of all, this is the Echo Lodge sock. And I have my, Fade into Neverland socks here. These are toe up. They have a fantastic heel. Of course, one is 2-color, one is not. Fits just like a heel flapping gusset, but it's toe up. Okay, here's the Christmas connection. I knit these as a Christmas gift. And the nice thing about toe up socks is that if you're knitting, now I wanted these to be shorty socks for the recipient, but if you're getting close to Christmas and you're running out of time, if you're doing toe up socks, you can just be like, you know what? Let's make these shorties. And you totally can. So instead of doing the ribbing as written, I just went straight ahead to the 1x1 ribbing and then bound off as the pattern says. That was really the only difference. And of course fraternal, because that's fun. So that and the Echo Lodge. I have mitts too that match it. It's so sweet. This is mustache yarn. And if you've never knit with mustache, have to knit with it. It's lovely. And she has out right now an Anne of Green Gables pre-order. It's beautiful. It's so pretty. And these are Anne of Green Gables themed socks and mitts. Echo Lodge is in Anne of Avonlea, the second book in the series. And it's based on characters from that, but it would be perfect. And I may be knitting this set with that yarn. It comes with a pattern, so I might knit that, but I might knit this. I haven't decided yet. I get to decide that next month when the yarn comes. It's so pretty. So if you haven't checked out Mustache, go do that after this episode. So that is it for right now. I'm going to move on to what's on my needles. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, I finished a pair of socks. These are my Ruby and Roses in rose gold, witching hour. They're gorgeous. Finished these socks. But I'm going to tell you more about these in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to set those aside for now and we'll come back to those. But I need more of that yarn because the rose gold is delicious. So Ruby and Roses, I love it. Okay, now it's Christmas-ish time. It's December time. And so I have a lot of things to do, especially in the evenings. And so I really like to have something on the TV, or sometimes a book, but an audio book or music. But I love having on shows, movies that I can just listen to and I can turn it off whenever I want to. I don't get too invested that I have to stay up forever to finish it. So I'm rewatching the Twilight movies right now. So it fits with, I shared this two episodes ago. So if you want to hear more about this and you didn't catch that, make sure you check out 2 episodes ago because this book is awesome if you love vampires and werewolves. And I'm making the Shapeshifter Shrug from that pattern book. Now, I haven't gotten much farther. I don't know if I've gotten any farther from the last time you saw me, but now that I've got the Twilight playing, I'm probably going to be getting back to my werewolf Shapeshifter project. This is by Sara Delaney, and the yarn is Monty Donegal Violet. I'm really enjoying this yarn. It has alpaca in it, and I haven't knit with alpaca in a long time, but I'm going to be knitting with it more. I have it in another color too, so I'm looking forward to figuring out a pattern for that, next year once I get through this. So there's that, and hang on one second, let me get a sweater. Okay, my final thing on the needles, my final whip is the Bloomsbury sweater, and check this out. It's got sleeves. It's got 2 sleeves. Look at that. I love it. It is so fun, and I spent a couple of days on each sleeve rocking through them, getting my the lace pattern all memorized, and I love it. Now I changed the cuff because first of all, it wasn't long enough. It's supposed to be 2x1 to match, 2x2 to match the neckline, but it wasn't long enough. And then I was doing the bind off and I just didn't like it. Honestly, on sweaters, I prefer a tubular bind off. Now, some people call it other stuff because I don't do the prep steps in the tubular bind off, but it's the same thing. It's basically Kitchener stitch, but with your stitches all on one needle. I love it. It's perfect for sweaters. I have a tutorial on my channel if you're interested. I think it was like the first video I ever put up, maybe second, but it's on here. I love it. It's my go-to. So I switched over to 1x1 because the tubular or Italian, whatever you want to call it, is best on 1x1. I think it looks best. I tried shifting the stitches and from the 2x2 into 1x1, I just didn't like it. So I reknit it. It's just a cuff, not a big deal. And then I did the same on the other. Now I'm working on the body. I'm almost to the decrease section. This is the back with the lace on it. You know, a lot of people that I hear talk about like Sleeve Island, like it's a bad thing. I love Sleeve Island. I love it because it goes so fast. Now I knit my sleeves on 9-inch circulars almost exclusively because I don't have time for magic loop. I don't have time for DPNs because I always pull a needle out and I lose stuff and then like trying to turn around and doing 2 at a time. I've done it and it can be done and it's fine. And I know some people love that too, and that's fine. But for me, I just want to knit around and around and around and around and be done. What I tend to do, because keeping track of how many rows to decrease, I will get out the number of stitch markers that I need. I'll stick it on one stitch marker, and when I get to the first decrease, I put that stitch marker with all of them here, and I mark that first decrease. And every time I get to a decrease, I take it off of here and I put it, you know, on that decrease. And then when I'm done with my decreases, I know it because I've already counted. I don't have to think about it. I usually double check just so I make sure I don't miss anything, but it takes a lot of the thought out of it while I'm going. I can just knit and enjoy the process. So y'all, I had a vacation on Sleeve Island the last couple weeks and I loved it. Now I have to knit the body, and that's okay because there's a whole lot of stockinette in this, you know, and it's worsted weight. Look at that. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And you might notice this yarn looks like this yarn because it's the same. I knit this first years ago and I am knitting this now with the yarn I had left over in my stash. It is Stone Hedge Fiber Mill Shepherd's Worsted. I always say that wrong. It is not Stonehenge, it's Stone Hedge, like, you know, like a hedgerow. So that is what I am working on. And that takes me into my pattern library. So let's move on. Okay, let's chat about what I'm wearing. And let me tell you, this sweater and the shawl are both from the same pattern book. This is a magazine. This is Interweave Knits magazine. This is from fall 2015. So I've had this for a long time. It's hard to believe it's been that long. This sweater is the one on the cover. I enjoyed both of these knits, and I'm going to share some of the other patterns that are in here with you so that you can see them. This is a great, I want to say episode, edition, whatever. So what the sweater I'm wearing is called the Tucker sweater. It's by Amanda, and I will butcher her last name, so I will write it down here. And I so enjoyed making this sweater. Here is the picture from the magazine. It's a bottom-up sweater. It has garter on all of the places. Here, look. There's garter. And you know, I don't tend to knit garter. It's especially when I knit this, it wasn't my go-to, especially for cuffs. but I really love it. I don't know if it's the yarn or the sweater, what it is. I really enjoy it. This yarn is Plymouth Yarn Homestead Tweed. There's that. And it is in, I think, oatmeal tweed. It's cozy, it's hardy, it's, I feel like it'll stand up, you know, it'll last for a while. It's still squishy. Now it does pill a bit, but you have that and I'm okay with it. It's already kind of tweedy, so it doesn't bother me. And I really enjoyed knitting this. The cables are so cool. It looks complicated. I think it looks like it would be hard to make. It was not hard to make. It, you know, it took some time and some thought and effort, but it was straightforward and I really enjoyed making it. So that is the Tucker sweater. Let me see what else is. They have these nice pictures. Here, let me show you. That one and a couple of shawls. And there's a variety of techniques in here and difficulty, and it's a good magazine. Edition? Is the word edition? I don't know. All right, so this next one, the one that I'm wearing, is called the Squall Line Shawl by Romi Hill. So here it is. Isn't that a gorgeous picture? And there's Romi Hill. I fell in love with this sweater or shawl when I saw it, and I knew I had to make it. I loved it in the blue, so I knew I had to. Let me see if I can. I love how it fits. I really enjoyed the lace. Of course, it's worsted weight, so it went pretty quick. The edging is fantastic. The way it was constructed, I just really enjoyed learning from it and trying something different. It's a quality pattern that I really enjoyed. So that's the Squall Line Shawl by Romi Hill, and she does lovely lace. Like, oh my goodness, she has so many lace patterns and they're all beautiful. So I really enjoyed making this. Like I said, this is the Stonehenge. I'm gonna get it wrong. The Stonehenge Fiber Mill Shepherd's Worsted. I don't know why I can't get that right. Oh well. And let's see if there's some others in here. There's some socks. They're kind of hard to see. So let's move on. They're nice. They're nice socks. And a couple more sweaters here. Some cable-y kinds of sweater. I really like this. I think I might have to make this color work sweater. It's, you know, it's on a man, which it works on a man. I think it would work on anybody. And then there's this one too. Doesn't that look cozy? I think that looks so cozy. Fitted, but easy, you know, easy to wear. A couple more here. Nice little Gansey. Colorwork hat. And this is, what is this called? The Commonwealth sweater. I didn't realize that until literally today because I never really paid attention. I thought that it was snowflakes on this sweater. Apparently it's the Commonwealth flag, I guess for Great Britain. And once I looked at it and I was thinking, well, why would they name a snowflake sweater the Commonwealth sweater? Well, I think it's because it's supposed to be the flag. So if you look, I don't know if you can see it. I don't even know if it's in focus, sorry. But if you look online, it does, I can see the flag in it. I can see, what is it, the Union Jack? I hope I'm not calling it the wrong thing. No offense. It looks like it, but I always thought it was snowflakes. So I guess you can see what you want to see, right? But they all look cozy and interesting and varied levels of, you know, difficulty. So it's a really, really nice magazine to have in your library, Fall 2015 Interweave Knits. So that's from my library. Let's move on. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this little book, but it's called Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm sure you've heard about it. You have probably already read it. It's one of the hottest books right now. I had a hold on the library copy for months to be one of the first to get it. The library got like 100 copies or something of the audiobook. So it's a popular book, and I enjoyed it. I actually saw some varied reviews online. It seems like people either love it or they hate it. And I enjoyed it. I'm in the camp that enjoyed it. Now, I listened to the audiobook. I enjoyed the audiobook, and I have a feeling that this may be the kind of book that does best when you hear it. When it is told to you as a story, it's written in first person perspective. It's very chatty, I guess that's how I'd say it. Kind of voicey, chatty. I don't know that reading it is necessarily the best way to go about. Maybe you disagree with me, and that's totally fine. It seems like some of the things people didn't like were maybe that it was the grammar and the writing style, which I think get kind of covered up and kind of smoothed out when you listen to the audiobook. Those are the types of things that probably bother you more when you read them, as opposed to when you listen to someone just talking with you. It feels like someone's just telling you the story. And I think that, some of that gets kind of ironed out in that process. At least for me, it does. It's a huge book. It's 28 hours long. It is descriptive. It's a girl who is 20, so it's a little melodramatic, and that's okay. It's packed with issues, but with action, relationship development, personal development. It's the second book. It's the second book in a series. The first book was Fourth Wing. I loved that book. If you are interested, I talked about it just a couple months ago, whenever it was that I read it. It's on here. I forget which episode. I really enjoyed it. But it's a second book. And in my opinion, second books tend to be a whole lot of exposition. The first story is usually pretty clean cut. You got your thing, you're meeting your people. And then the second book, there's a lot of expectation to move the story along. You develop those people. Sometimes it gets a little messy. You have events happen that tend to be kind of messy too. And then things come up, because if it's not interesting and there aren't surprises, it gets boring, and you don't want that. So, it has all of that mixed in. So I really enjoyed it. I appreciate it for what it is. It's not the beginning book where it's all fresh and exciting. It's not the ending book where everything gets wrapped up. It's a middle book, and I really enjoyed it. What did you think of it? Did you read it? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm completely off my rocker? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. And if you haven't read it, it's one to consider, but definitely read Fourth Wing first, or listen to the audiobook. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed sharing these things with you. Upcoming, I'm planning on sharing my designs and review, do a 2023 designs and review, and probably one final chatty episode to end the year of 2023. I can't believe we're already here. So thank you so much. If you've been on this journey with me from the beginning, thank you. And if you're just joining me, welcome. Don't forget that you can find me on Instagram and Substack under Mountain Song Designs. I'm on Etsy at MTN Song Designs, and on Ravelry under Jocelyn Peters or Mountain Song Designs. Thank you so much for joining me this year, today, anytime you've joined me. Thank you. And Slanchava and happy knitting. Bye.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road.